Guys, sorry, I forgot to do something. Give me just 1 second.
Ah, some snails have escaped from a care of magical creatures class. Careful, they're dreadfully poisonous. Press the cross button to cast the Flipendo knockback jinx from your wand. That should stop the wretched things. And watch out for those poisonous snail trails.
Okay, this is it. Guys, hello, welcome to Alex's Adventures in English. Welcome to this live stream. This is an unannounced live stream, right? But let me start again. Hello to everyone, and welcome to Alex's Adventures in English. Welcome to this live stream. Hello, Jack. Welcome to the live stream. In this live stream, I'm going to teach you English through Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This is part 1. Yes. Yes, I recorded this episode before, but I'm going to give it a second go, right? I'm gonna give it a go once again, because previously the audio wasn't, the quality of the stream wasn't the best. So this time, let's hope everything goes according to plan. So guys, welcome. And yes, of course, I'm going to be teaching you standard Southern British English through Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on PS1. This is for PS1, right? And I'm going to be playing the game in an emulator. An online emulator. So, and I'm using you can see my PS5 controller. Great, mate. Great. So, let's get started. Let's have a look at the sound options. We don't have much time, mind you. I'm going to be here for around an hour. A bit less than an hour. We have around 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes to go. So let's make the best out of it. And I'm going to be pausing the game, right? And I'm going to be repeating after the main characters in the story. So, and you can repeat after me and ask questions in the chat if you want to. Yeah, something great about playing the game here is that we can pause it whenever we want to.
There was nothing about the starry sky that night.
Okay, there was nothing about the starry sky that night. Starry with that long R sound.
To suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening.
To suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening.
As unsuspecting muggles slept.
As unsuspecting muggles slept.
A huge motorbike with a giant astride it.
A huge motorbike with a giant astride it. With a giant on it, riding it.
Tumbled down from the darkness.
Tumbled down from the darkness. Fell off, right? I think he falls off the bike.
The giant.
No, actually he doesn't fall off. Not at this time in the story. Sorry, I got confused. So he appears from the darkness, okay?
Named Hagrid left a blanket-wrapped bundle on the doorstep of number 4, Privet Drive.
So this giant left a blanket wrapped bundle on the doorstep of number 4, Privet Drive. Notice that the narrator says a blanket wrapped bundle, even though the word is wrapped with ed at the end. But the thing is that there are 3 consonant sounds that, if we think of wrapped bundle, we've got wrap, p, b, and no, p, t, and b, right? 3 consonant sounds. So usually in connected speech, in this accent, you'll get, and in American English too, they will drop the consonant sound in the middle, the t. So you get blanket wrap bundle on the doorstep of number 4, Privet Drive.
Nestled in the bundle was a baby.
That's a great word, nestled. Nestled in the bundle was a baby, right? Nestled, you don't pronounce the t, you say nestled, just like castle, right? You've got a T right before the L, the L consonant. But yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. And nestled, castle, you don't pronounce the T there.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Yeah, most of my students say live. Where do you live? Yeah, it's where do you live? The boy who lived in the simple past.
For the next 11 years, Harry
For the next 11 years,
lived with his dreadful step-parents, the Dursleys.
Harry lived with his dreadful step-parents, the Dursleys. Dursleys begins with this sound, as in church, the same as in church, or first, or even bird.
Until that fateful day, when he received the letter inviting him to attend.
Okay, until that fateful day when he received the letter inviting him. So in this case, there is a kind of emphasis on him. You know, that wouldn't be the case usually. That wouldn't be the case in connected speech. But the thing is that it's surprising that he gets invited to Hogwarts to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It's like, of all the people in the world, of all the children in the world, he was the last, the last one to be, I don't know, given such an honor, but inviting him to attend
Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Hagrid took Harry to Diagon Alley.
Hagrid, the big guy, took Harry to Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley?
To purchase a most unusual list of school supplies.
To purchase. Purchase. That, again, we've got the same sound. As in bird, as in church, as in first. Purchase. Sorry. Purchase a most unusual list of school supplies.
Soon after, Harry caught the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4, and
So soon after, Harry caught the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4
left the Muggle world far behind.
and left the Muggle world. Left the Muggle world. Again, we've got a consonant cluster. The one we were talking about, per, t, b, together, 3 consonants together, that's a consonant cluster. So usually, if you get a consonant cluster formed by consonants getting together because, I don't know, 2 words and, I don't know, there's one word ending in 2 consonants, like, for example, left, t, p, and t, and the next one begins with another consonant, like the, in this case, the t in the middle again, gets dropped, and you get left the Muggle world far behind. Left the.
Harry sat beneath a sorting hat.
And the technical term for that one is ellipsis, So it's a way of simplifying spoken English. So it's a way that spoken English gets naturally simplified, and technically we call that kind of simplification ellipsis, dropping a sound.
Hoping that he would not be chosen for Slytherin House over Gryffindor.
Okay, so you can choose something over something else, right? So, but you can be chosen for something over something else. Harry sat beneath the sorting hat. The sorting hat is this magical hat that chooses, whose job is to choose where children or where students, or to choose or to, it's kind of the sorting hat allocates or puts students into different houses. Let's put it that way. Assigns a particular house to a student in the world of in Hogwarts, right? In the school Hogwarts.
Not Slytherin, eh? Said the hat in his ear.
Not Slytherin, eh? Said the hat in his ear.
You could be great. It's all here in your head.
You could be great. It's all here in your head.
And Slytherin will help you on your way to greatness.
Yes, on your way to something, right? On your path to greatness.
No? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor.
And we've got a first conditional sentence right there. If you're sure, better be Gryffindor. So if you're sure, let's better put you on Gryffindor. Yeah. In Gryffindor, actually, in that house. Yes, let's put you in Gryffindor instead. So the Sorting Hat takes into account your decision.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster.
So this guy, Albus Dumbledore, well, in the story, in the films actually, in the Harry Potter films, the famous Harry Potter films, he's got he does have a British accent, but he's got an Irish accent, a soft Irish accent. That's why he does pronounce the R at the end of words and in the middle of them too, like headmaster.
Now, Hogwarts is
Hogwarts.
full of secrets, Harry, so search
Search
behind every door. But
every door.
keep in mind, not all secrets are rewarding.
Are rewarding, right? He does pronounce the R in the middle of words and at the end. Unlike Southern Standard British English speakers, right? Who only pronounce the R sound at the very beginning of words, right? When they say reward, and if it's at the end of a word, they only pronounce it when right after comes a vowel sound, like for example, and the car is in the park. But if they say the car, they don't pronounce the R. But the car is, and we call that connecting R, linking R.
Oh, which reminds me, the third floor corridor is
Corridor.
out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to suffer a most painful death.
Okay, thank you. That's quite a cheerful thought. I really appreciate it.
Nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak, 4 wonderful words, don't you think?
4 wonderful words, don't you think? So again, 4. He does pronounce the R at the end, just like in American English. So we could say that this is a characteristic of languages, accents. So rhotic, we could talk about rhotic accents. When we talk about, rhotic used to refer to a type of English in which an R or an R, let's put it that way, or a R sound, is pronounced in all situations where there is an R in spelling. For example, in a rhotic accent, an R is pronounced at the end of car. So you say car or 4, okay? That's the way it works. So Irish is a rhotic accent as well as American, general American English. That one is great foyer. Foyer. I think that's a big area where people can meet and wait. If my memory doesn't fail me. Foyer. That's the pronunciation of that word. Foyer. Foyer. It's a large open area just inside the entrance of a public building, such as a theatre or a hotel, where people can wait and meet each other. Gryffindor Tower. Press the square button to use door. Or to use the door, actually. Okay, we've got and as this is an old game, we can, and this is an emulator, we can activate cheats, you know? That's something that nowadays current games, modern games don't have this ability. You don't have this possibility. So you can activate infinite health unlock all wizard cards, unlock Flipendo Duo, which is a kind of spell, I guess, unlock Quidditch League, which is something that I think you can have access later on. In the meantime, we can have access to the all the wizard cards, I think. This isn't this the place where we came from? Isn't it? I'm not sure. Okay. Upper castle locked. Okay, yeah, that's the door where we came from. We've come from there. Oh, this is an opportunity to speak with these guys. We can also save states, you know. That gives you the possibility of like saving your progress at specific points in the game. And we can have a conversation with them.
By the look of that scar, you must...
By the look of that scar... By the look of that scar... Right, the scar... Right? He's got a scar. Harry's got a scar on his forehead. Yes.
Be Harry Potter.
You must be Harry Potter.
I'm Fred Weasley, and this is my brother, George.
I'm Fred Weasley, and this is my brother, George. I'm Fred Weasley, and this is my brother, George. Right, so you don't say... There's a kind of contrast here, right? I'm Fred Weasley. I'm Fred Weasley. That's why the stress on I'm. I'm Fred Weasley, and this is my brother, George. Usually in English, when you introduce somebody who's with you to someone else, you say this is, and this is my, I don't know, friend, brother, mother, etc.
Hello there, Harry.
Hello there, Harry.
We have a proposal for you.
We have a proposal for you. Right? We have a proposal for you. Proposal. Don't say proposal, but proposal. With a schwa at the beginning. Proposal for you.
In Hogwarts, there are special portraits.
In Hogwarts, there are special portraits. In Hogwarts, there are special portraits. There are special portraits. So portraits, you don't pronounce the r there. You say portraits. Portraits.
And behind these special portraits are prizes.
And behind these special portraits are prizes. This is great. This is great. A great structure. And behind these special portraits, because special portraits was mentioned before, you don't say, they don't say, and behind these special portraits are prizes. No, behind these special portraits and behind the special portraits are prizes. So the accent goes on behind the special. So right behind that one, behind the special portraits, or let me put it this way, and behind these special portraits, right, are prizes. It's like your voice goes up on behind, and behind these special portraits, and then it goes up. Behind these special portraits are prizes. Usually in English we use this kind of intonation when we're talking about something we mentioned before, something that counts as given information, as shared information between you and the other speaker. So this is given information, shared information, referred information. Behind these special portraits are prizes. Because if you said in English, And if you say, I don't know, in Hogwarts, there are many special portraits. There are many special portraits. So at that point, special portraits has been mentioned only once, but then you mention it twice, and you say, and behind the special portraits are prices, right? We're giving new information about the special portraits. We're saying that, well, behind the special portraits are prices, not, I don't know, on them, or I don't know. It's behind the special portraits that you get prices. That's something you knew about them.
But of course, not just anyone can open up the portraits.
But of course, not just anyone can open up the portraits, right? So this is something saying that not anyone can open up the portraits.
You need to know the password.
You need to know the password. Password. That's a great word. Combining two sounds. Pass, R, as in car, and word. In word, you get the same vowel sound you get in first, or bird, or stir, STIR.
If you bring us earwax every flavour beans,
If you bring us earwax every flavour beans,
we'll tell you the password.
we'll tell you the password. So we'll tell you the password, right? We'll tell you. If you do something, we'll do something else. Another first conditional sentence.
We'll be in the Gryffindor common room, which is through the portrait of the fat lady.
We'll be in the Gryffindor common room, which is through the portrait, which is through the portrait of the fat lady. And this is a very common mistake that native speakers of English make all the time. You know, in writing, they forget to put a comma, to place a comma between a noun and the relative pronoun that introduces a non-defining relative clause. And why am I saying this? Well, we've got a clearly defined noun, which is the Gryffindor common room. So we know that there's only one in the story. The Gryffindor common room. Okay, we don't need extra information to define it, to say, okay, to identify it. Okay, do you follow me? But then comes extra information about the Gryffindor common room, which is through the portrait of the fat lady, which means that you can enter, the common room through the portrait of the fat lady. All right, that's extra information. You don't need to mention that to identify, for somebody else to identify which room you're talking about. It's the Gryffindor common room, okay? So we need a comma here to separate the extra information from, the already defined noun, which is the Gryffindor common room. It's like saying, for example, we'll be in the Gryffindor common room, full stop, and the Gryffindor common room is through, or you can have access to the Gryffindor common room through the portrait of the fat lady. Through the portrait of the fat lady. Do you follow me? So these are two different pieces of information about the same thing. But yeah, anyway.
See you around, Harry.
See you around, Harry. See you around, Harry. But you see this mistake all the time in English, made by native speakers. Okay. That looks like Neo from the Matrix.
Merlin.
Follow. Okay. Follow. I think it's Magi. Oh, mate. I think. Let me double check that word, which is a word I'm beginning to hate. Magi. 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 That's a strange word, isn't it? I think, well, it must have come from the Bible, from the three men thought to be kings or astrologers who followed the star to visit Jesus Christ when he was a baby and gave him presents. They're also called the three kings or the three wise men. Anyway, let's have a look at this. This is great because we can read information about some key figures in the story, like Merlin.
Merlin. Medieval. Dates unknown.
Medieval. Date unknown. Sorry, my neighbors are listening to some kind of crappy music. Crap music that's just, getting on my nerves. I mean, it's killing me. It's got nothing to do with this. And apparently I have no option but to hear it. I have no option but to do that because that's what they want to do, right? You've got no option. That's the way it works. Anyway, I'm just checking if I'm live everywhere because later on I'm gonna create shorts out of this live stream. Anyway, guys. Yeah, the biblical. I can't hear your neighbors. Yeah, you're fortunate. You're fortunate because I'm wearing actually this microphone, this great microphone only captures sounds coming from right in front of it, You've got to be right in front of it to for it to capture the sound or noises, like in this case. Anyway, fortunately, you're fortunate enough not to have to listen to that. Okay, let's continue. We don't have much time. And remember, this is part one of my first playthrough. Yeah, first playthrough of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone for PS1, the original. I think it is the original. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was released first for this platform. Anyway, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Most famous wizard of all time.
There's some strange noise whenever I pause and unpause the video. Most famous wizard of all time. Most famous wizard of all time.
Sometimes known as Prince of the Enchanters.
Sometimes known as Prince of the Enchanters. That enchanters. I love that pronunciation. Look at the R, the long R sound in enchanters. The same you'll find in words like star or car.
Part of the court of King Arthur.
Part of the court of King Arthur. So part, again, the same long vowel sound. R. Enchanters, part, Arthur. You've got three words very close to one another, being pronounced with the same vowel sound. Arthur, enchanters, parts. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we don't get to see the others, the other cards. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Yep, loading. You know, when you played an old game like this one. Well, it's a bit old, yeah. From the 2000s. 2001, I think it was released. You have to wait to go from one scene to the other. So yeah, that was a secret room you find through a secret passage. Charms corridor. Yeah, there are ghosts in the castle and flying candles. Apparently. You can climb up onto furniture. Oh, this is Ron Weasley. It's another.
Hey, Harry! Remember me? Ron Weasley.
Hey, Harry, remember me? Ron Weasley. Weasley with a long E sound.
That slimy Slytherin Draco Malfoy ran through this door with an owl under his arm.
That slimy Slytherin, Draco Malfoy. Slimy. Something. I think that slimy refers to a kind of person that's. Let me just jog my memory. Let me jog my memory. That is to, refresh your memory. Slimy. It's a disapproving term, and it means. I mean, if you describe a person or their manner as slimy, you mean that they appear to be friendly, but in a way that you find unpleasant. So that's a slimy person, kind of person. And it says that slimy Slytherin, that's a name of the house. You know, one of the houses in Harry Potter. So this guy, Draco, this boy actually belongs to this house called Slytherin. He ran through this door with an owl under his arm. And Ron says, with an owl under his arm. Under his arm. Right, I think we can listen to that again. Yeah, we can listen to that again.
Hey, Harry! Remember me? Ron Weasley. That slimy Slytherin Draco Malfoy ran through this door with an owl under his arm.
With an owl under his arm. That's interesting because he says with an owl under his arm. And there are two things going on here. The first is that the ha sound at the beginning of his gets dropped, which is something very common, you know, in connected speech when his is not accented. So under his arm we get. So what happens? Usually you will say under his arm, under his arm. But if you drop the h consonant, the r gets, is left right next to the I of is, in is, right? Under is. So you get a link in ra, right? That's what happens in this accent. Under his arm, under his arm, right? Remember that we said before that a final R is only pronounced in this accent if right after it comes a vowel sound, right? So this is the case. Under his arm, under his arm. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. And yeah, under his arm. Under his arm. Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. Um unfortunately, um I might have to go and go back in a while. I think so. I think I will have to do that, unfortunately. But just let me double check if I can, you know, get away. Okay, okay. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm not. I know this is not the best for a live episode, but yeah, this is going to be part one of my gameplay, right? Of my first playthrough of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on PS1. Yeah, we can continue a bit longer, okay? But we'll keep it, you know, around 1 hour, a 1 hour live stream. Okay,
I think it was your owl Hedwig.
I think it was your owl. I think it was your owl, Hedwig. I think I've noticed two things there. I think it was your. I think it was your. That one. I think it was your. The thing is that you get I was and your. When they get together, the plus ya, you get je. Je was your. I think it was your. I think it was your. This happens when they, in connected speech. I think it was your. I think it was your owl. I think it was your owl. Again, your, but right after it comes a vowel sound. Your owl, your owl. I think it was your owl, Hedwig. And I wonder if we can listen to that again.
Hey, Harry, remember me, Ron Weasley? That slimy Slytherin Draco Malfoy ran through this door with an owl under his arm. I think it was your owl Hedwig.
I think it was your owl Hedwig. Yeah, I think it was your owl Hedwig.
Let's go after him.
Again, let's go after him. After him. After him. Dropping of her. And therefore you got a Linkin Rock. After him.
Come on, Harry, let's find Hedwig.
Well, 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 if it isn't the famous Harry Potter.
Well, 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 if it isn't the famous Harry Potter, if it isn't the right, he doesn't say if it isn't the famous Harry Potter. No, if it isn't the famous, dropping the t, right? Again, ellipsis. If it isn't because there are three consonant, there's a consonant cluster again. If it isn't the, not the, it isn't. Yeah, I think so. If it isn't the, yes, you get three consonants there. N, t, and the. So you drop the one in the middle, t. If it isn't the famous Harry Potter.
I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to show me respect.
I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to show me respect. Yeah, he's, a bit pedantic. I think that'll be the word we'll use to describe this guy. Pedantic, giving too much attention to formal rules or small details. No, this. Okay. There's another word. He's a bit of a show off, I think. to behave in a way that is intended to attract attention or admiration, and that other people often find annoying. Bit he shows off, and he's a bit of a show off, you can say. Okay, to be a show off, that's a person. Pedantic, that one. Uh, yeah, I think I got confused because of a film I used to watch. I watched like a million times. Pedantic. Pedantic, apparently, yeah, it's a person that gives too much attention to formal rules or small details. Hmm, really? Caring too much about unimportant rules or details and not enough about understanding or appreciating a subject. And the other word you mentioned, Jack, was let me have a look at it. Pendant? I'm not familiar with that word. Okay. Maybe you meant pedantic, right? Yeah. So apparently, this guy might be described more of a show off. You know, like a show off, like somebody's that that's trying to call people's attention all the time. To be a show off, or to show off, to behave in a way that is intended to attract attention or admiration, and that other people often find annoying. And to be a show off, that's a person who shows off, behaves in a way intended to attract attention that other people often find annoying. Um, yeah, he might be arrogant too, I think. You know? Arrogant, unpleasantly proud, and behaving as if you are more important than or know more than other people. I found him arrogant and rude. I think that this is a far better word to describe this guy, to be arrogant. Okay, pedantic is derived from. All right, mate. Uh, oh, right. Yes. Pen. Oh, a pedant. Pedant. A person who is interested in formal rules and small details that are not important. So that's a disapproving term. And from it, we can talk about also pedantry, the quality of being too interested in formal rules and small details that are not important. For example, there was a hint of pedantry in his elegant style of speaking. His speech was precise to the point of pedantry. So, pedant, look at that, and pedantic. So, pedant, the noun referring to the person, pedantry, the noun referring to the quality of being, pedantic, and pedantic is the adjective referring to, you know, this very same idea as a quality. Thank you, mate. In the original Latin, pedant probably doesn't have this negative connotation, right? Makes sense.
Looking for that owl of yours? How careless of you to leave it lying about.
Looking for that owl of yours? Looking for that owl of yours? Yeah, he does pronounce that owl, owl with that. Um, it's called a glottal reinforcement, right? Because there's a glottal stop at the beginning of the word, like saying, looking for that owl, owl. This happens in this accent when people want to put emphasis on the pronunciation of a word, right? They want to emphasize the word for some reason. So looking for that owl of yours, owl of yours. This happens when a word begins with a vowel sound and we want to make emphasis on it. Looking for that owl of yours, owl of yours. Because of course, if you've got a consonant, it's much easier to put emphasis on that, on the pronunciation of that word. When, for example, when you say Harry Potter, Potter. But this one, yeah, you've got a vowel sound, so the glottal stop helps you do that. How careless of you, for example, that one, careless. How careless of you to leave it lying about. Lying about. Lying around would be in American English, but about is used with this meaning in this accent in British English.
Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry.
Go home to your mother, Potter. Go home to your mother, Potter. Right? Go home to your mother, Potter. Usually, in this accent, you will also, when you've got a vocative at the end, right? That an addressing term like Potter in this case, you know, a person's last name or name, like when you say, "Come here, Peter." Peter is a vocative there. You can use it. You can use a rising tone on it. You know, come home. No, go home to your mother, Potter. Right, Potter. Do you notice? Do you notice that? Go home to your mother, Potter. Potter. You begin downwards. You begin down and you go up. Potter. Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
You don't have one, do you?
You don't have one, do you? You don't have one, do you? So in this case, he's implying you, unlike, I mean, me or most of the other students, don't have one, right? You don't have a mother, do you? So here, Draco is taking the Mickey or taking the Mick out of Harry, right? He's mocking Harry for not having a mother, for being an orphan. Actually, yes, Harry's parents died when he was a baby, when he was just a baby. Anyway, it's been around, okay, it's been nearly an hour, so let's continue a bit longer, and then we'll do a brief recap and call it a day. Yeah, you can say call it a day. Call it a day. Do you know that one? If you call it a day, I mean, calling it a day means to stop what you're doing because you do not want to do any more or think you have done enough. For example, I'm getting a bit tired now. Let's call it a day. Call it a day, as in Wednesday, day. After 14 years living and working in this country, she thinks it's time to call it a day, to put an end to it. Go on, Harry, why don't you say something? Say anything.
He's a nasty piece of work. Just ignore him.
He's a nasty piece of work. A nasty with a long R sound, right? Just like in enchanters or pass or car or even star, and nasty. But in American English, that's nasty. Nasty. Right, with an A sound. Nasty. Yeah, that's in American English. But in British English, nasty, bad, or very unpleasant. Just ignore him. That's what he said. Just ignore him. In this case, he does pronounce. Oh gosh, that music is killing me. In this case, he does pronounce the ha at the beginning of him. That's why he says just ignore him. He doesn't pronounce the ra, the Lincoln ra there.
Us Gryffindors should stick together.
Us Gryffindors should stick together, so we should remain together.
Come on, Harry, follow me. To climb up, just push forwards on your controller.
Okay, something very strange has just happened. Actually, we don't see Harry holding a controller. We are actually doing that. So it's like Ron was talking to Harry, but at the same time to us. So this is so strange, you know? And yeah, it's like yeah, Ron, Harry's not playing the game. I'm playing the game, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. So I'm gonna do that. Push up. What was it? Let me read that again. Push up to the edge to climb. So we push up to the edge to climb.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, you say climb. You don't say climb. You don't pronounce the b at the end. Climb. There's a silent b at the end of climb.
Follow me.
Follow me.
To jump, just approach the edge and keep pressing forwards on the controller.
Okay, to jump to that purpose, just approach the edge and keep, sorry, not creep. That's the song, creep. To jump, just approach the edge, right? It's from this root that's also found in the word pedagogy. Pedagogue. Original meaning was schoolmaster. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Really? Oh, because of pedant. Pedagogy. Pedagogue. Original meaning was schoolmaster. Okay, really? I didn't know that. That's quite interesting. And before I forget, in British English, you say forwards with a z at the end. And you don't pronounce the r, at least not in this accent. But in American English, that's forward. Forward, without the s at the end. So run off the edge to automatically jump. Run off the edge to automatically jump. Interesting.
Look, there's another feather.
Look, there's another feather. There's another feather. Another feather.
I'll double back and watch the entrance. You better go on and rescue Hedwig.
So I'll double back and watch the entrance. To double back means to, let me try and see if I can jog my memory, to go in the opposite direction, I think it is. I think so. Double back. It's a phrasal verb. So to turn and go back in the direction you have come from, right? So an everyday example is we realized we had taken the wrong road and had to double back, right? And had to double back. We had to turn and go back in the direction we've come from, all right? I'll double back and watch the entrance. You best go on and rescue Hedwig, but he doesn't say you'd best go, but you better go on and yeah, there's a you know there's a mismatch between the voice acting and the subtitles. Anyway, let's continue a bit longer. Run off the edge to automatically jump again. Yeah, so I think that's some kind of groaning he does. To groan, to a deep long sound showing great pain. Oh, well, just a bit. A complaining noise or phrase. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Oh, he's use door. Press the square button to use door.
Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Nearly Headless Nick, and I am the Gryffindor House Ghost.
Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Nearly Headless Nick. So this ghost, this guy is called Nearly Headless because, well, he died being, well, he got, he nearly got decapitated, right? He nearly got his head chopped off, you know? So that's why he's called Nearly Headless Nick. And I am the Gryffindor house ghost.
Oh, look how tall this room is. Well, I mean, you must go all the way to the top to get out.
Okay. Look how tall this room is. Yeah, that's look how tall this room is. You must go all the way to the top to get out.
If you want to look around, press your triangle button. Press the triangle button again when you've finished.
Okay, a few things. If you want to look around, press your triangle button. Again, he's talking to Harry, but at the same time, actually, he's talking to us. So that's a bit strange, mate. And it's so interesting to see that instructions are, well, great to learn English while playing video games. And what's more is that that first conditional sentences are very commonly used in video games for instructions and in everyday life too, of course. So you've got, as a player, you've got the option of doing this, pressing your triangle button to do this, to look around. But of course, it's your choice. So he's telling you that if you want to achieve that purpose, that right, looking around, you need to do this. So the instructions are given, in case you want to do something. And you should press the triangle button again when you finished. He says you finished. The contracted form, you finished. But in the subtitles, we get you have finished, the long form. So there's a mismatch again. Need to climb up again. Okay. Yeah, the music's changed. There are portraits all around the castle. Oh, be careful. We need to get more feathers, don't we? Okay. these silences in the game make it a bit awkward, you know? That's something you wouldn't expect to find in modern games. I think, I'm not sure. To the Jinx rooms, use the square button to use door.
Ah, some snails have escaped from a care of magical creatures class. Careful, they're dreadfully poisonous. Press the
Okay.
cross button to...
So some snails have escaped. Snails are these creatures, right? And press the X button to cast.
Cast the Flipendo knockback Jinx from your wand.
Okay, press the X button to cast casts. Again, that's R sound. Oh, what the fuck, mate? There's a problem with TikTok. Don't tell me that the game there is shown as to be Resident Evil Requiem. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So that's quite a mismatch between and the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, imagine you're in for Harry Potter and Resident Evil Requiem, and you find a stream, Harry Potter stream, live stream. That's a bit, crazy. Okay, with Harry Potter. There you go. Okay, that was a bit funny.
That should stop the wretched things.
That should stop the wretched things. Wretched, as an adjective, this is used in the UK as annoying, referring to something annoying. Wretched. And yes, you don't pronounce the what at the beginning. You say wretched. Wretched, and generally this refers to something unpleasant or of low quality, a wretched childhood. Or the people live in wretched conditions with no running water.
And watch out for those poisonous snail trails.
Okay, and be careful with that. Snail trails, those are the things that these creatures leave behind. So time to use the spell. Okay, there you go. There you go with the first one. There you go. Okay.
You can use your L2 and R2 buttons to rotate the game camera.
Again, more instructions. Yeah, you need to collect a number of feathers to unlock doors. Okay, what time is it? Okay, we've reached an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, let's do a brief recap. Let's do a brief recap of what we've been doing today, what we've done today, what we discussed during this live stream, and Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, I wanted to tell you, I wanted to do a brief recap. Yeah, just let me check something. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, could you... Okay, okay, you can... Okay, I'm gonna give you a brief recap. I'm gonna give you a brief recap of what we've done today, right? So we could also, I could recap what we did today, what we've done today. As a verb, you can talk about a recap, right? To recap something, or as a recap, as a noun. And to recap means to repeat the main points of an explanation or a description. Usually, teachers recap the main points of a lesson, for example, or a recap or a recap refers to the act of repeating the main points of an explanation or description. So you could say, for example, could you give me a quick recap on something, on what happened in the meeting, right? And if you were reading the dictionary with me, you'd see that you would see you'd see that there's the on is in bold lettering, in bold. So because that's a collocation, we say I can give you a brief recap on what we've done today, right? In the game. And so let's try and do that. Today we've started playing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on PS1, right? This game was released in 2001, so it's a bit old. It's over 25 years old, right? 25, 26 years old, I think. And it's an interesting game. It is an interesting game. We came across interesting words, like for example, if my memory doesn't fail me, yeah, it will fail me. It will fail me. It will fail me because this is unscripted. If I did have a script, a script, yeah, it wouldn't fail me. But of course, uh, so we did discuss some main differences between British and American English. We did mention that, for example, Albus Dumbledore, one of the main characters in the story, has an Irish accent, and because of that, he does pronounce the R in the middle of words and at the end of words, unlike Southern British um, speakers, Southern Standard British English speakers who only pronounce the R at the beginning of a word when they say, for example, reward, or at the end only if right after comes a vowel sound. Like, for example, we came across examples like, I don't know, under his arm, under his arm, under his arm. Yeah, and interestingly, we also noticed that the h consonant is usually dropped in words like him, his, right? When these are not accented, like at the end of a word, right? At the end of a sentence, like when you say, I think I don't know, I think I saw him running with an owl under his arm, under his arm. And in these cases, if you've got a word that ends with an R consonant, like under, right? In the spelling, at least it ends with an R consonant. In this accent, you will pronounce this ra linking ra sound because if you dropped the hot sound in his or him, you will have to say under his, or under him, under his arm, under his arm. We also mentioned or noticed that the, for example,
Part of the court of King Arthur.
Sorry. Oh, bloody hell. Lost that.
Part of the court of King Arthur.
Okay, that one we mentioned, and we noticed.
Part.
Most famous wizard of all time, sometimes known as Prince of the Enchanters. We mentioned that enchanters, parts, and Arthur are pronounced with the same vowel sound, at least the stressed syllables. Yeah. Because we've got 3 words. 2 of them have more than 1 syllable. Enchanters, 3 syllables, and Arthur, 2 syllables. And the main syllable there is in chan and R, as in Arthur. So the main syllables here are pronounced with this long R sound that also appears in the word parts. Parts, enchanters, parts, Arthur. Right, and you wouldn't find that sound in American English, mind you. Usually when you say, for example, Arthur in the UK, you will find, let me look up the word parts. In American English, you get something similar, apparently.
Part.
Part, but it's not the same vowel sound, right? Part, it's not part, you don't drop your jaw that much, really. It's part. Okay. What else did we
The court of King Arthur.
We mentioned many other things, I think, but pretty much that's what we did. This one.
Hey, Harry! Remember me? Ron Weasley? That slimy Slytherin Draco.
Okay, we define slimy, which seems to be somebody that's annoying, because they seem to be friendly, but they're not actually. Yeah, my memory is hurting. Slimy, when you're talking about a person who's slimy, you mean that they appear to be friendly, but in a way that you find unpleasant. That's slimy. We mentioned that one. Oh, this was the example with with an owl under his arm. An owl under his arm.
Malfoy ran through this door with an owl under his arm. I think it was your owl Hedwig.
Oh, we also mentioned that it was your owl, because was and your are too close, right? The z and the y are too close. In connected speech, you'll hear when they combine, you get this zh consonant. So it was your owl, and a Lincoln Rye again. It was your owl, because right after your comes a word beginning with a vowel sound. And again,
let's go after him.
Let's go after him, dropping the h at the beginning of him, and therefore pronouncing the r at the end of after him. Yeah, that's something we mentioned today too. Here comes the conversation with Draco, I think. Yeah.
Come on, Harry. Let's find Hedwig.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the famous Harry Potter.
Just a second. Okay, so yeah, that was the brief recap, but I'm gonna do a better one later on. Okay, and all right, guys. All right, I think that was it for the first part of these of my first playthrough of Harry Potter and the okay. Where is it? Okay, of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We'll continue in part 2, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and get ready for part 2. Okay, so I'm gonna write. Yeah, you'll find these timestamps. Yeah, timestamps. I will add them to this episode so that you can uh, watch whichever parts you want to, whenever you want to, and you'll be able to skip the parts you don't want to pay attention to. And anyway, guys, thank you very much for being there. I've got the dash right now, and yeah, that's it. Jack, thank you very much for being there, and I hope to see you next time, guys. Bye bye for now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.